Yo, what's up guys? How's it going? Joe here. Welcome to an RTX 3070 build guide. Today we're gonna be building a sexy little MU themed PC. If you guys haven't ever built a PC before, you've come to the right place because I'm gonna be showing you guys how to do everything from start to finish. This guide's gonna be broken down into 3 parts. So first we're gonna go over the parts as I show you guys how to build it step by step. Second, we're then going to be installing stuff. This includes our operating system, Windows 10, all the drivers we need, and other stuff. And then finally at the end, we're gonna be putting our rig to the test against all current popular titles. That includes a VR title as well. That's gonna be really fun at the end. We're really gonna be fragging it up, guys, so stay tuned till the end. First of all, the price situation, right? As I mentioned in our last 3000 series build, the prices are dumb right now when it comes to graphics cards. They're all sold out. If you have the opportunity to buy a graphics card that's in stock for MSRP, you are one of the lucky few because they're always out of stock, which means people then have to resort to buying it off other sites like eBay for a lot more money. I've seen the cards go for double or even triple the price. It's pretty insane right now. That's not gonna be the case forever, but that's the situation right now. It sucks, but we weren't gonna let that stop us from building systems here today. So all the prices up there, that's what we paid for each component except the graphics card. For our graphics card, we had to pay a lot of money for it. I bought it off eBay for a lot more money. That's the only way I'm able to get my hands on it. Now remember, this is our second RTX 3000 series build here on the channel. We previously built a 3080 one that has a Halo theme, and then the upcoming one after this one is gonna be an RTX 3060 build rocking a Siege theme with a bandit operator in there. That one's really dope. I'm excited for that one. It's using a limited edition case. Okay, so first thing we wanna do for this build is get our motherboard and our CPU. So here we have our Ryzen 5 5000 series, the 5600X. This comes with an included cooler, but we're not gonna be using it because we bought ourselves a nice little white AIO from Cooler Master. It's gonna better suit our system as far as the looks. So this bad boy right here, it's a 6-core 12-thread processor with a max boost of 4.6 gigahertz. Our motherboard choice, this is by AORUS, rocking the X570 chipset with built-in Wi-Fi. And inside here, we're gonna get our JFP1 plug, screws for our SSD, the standoff for the SSD, Wi-Fi if you're gonna be using the Wi-Fi antenna. So if we take a look at our CPU, on the bottom left-hand side of it, there's a little golden arrow. And our motherboard, there's also an arrow on the top left. So what we wanna do is pull the lever to the side and all the way up, and then we're gonna line up the arrow on the CPU with the arrow on the motherboard. So we're then just gonna put our CPU right on top of the CPU socket and then just let it drop into place. Just like that, it's gonna fall right in. You don't wanna get your CPU and then push it in, because if you force it, you may bend the pins, and that's no bueno. We definitely don't want that. So again, just line up both of the arrows and then let go, and then just have it drop right into place. All right, we're gonna put the lever all the way back down. Now moving on to our RAM installation, we went with 16 gigs, rated at 3600 megahertz. This is a CORSAIR Vengeance RGB Pro RAM, and we spray painted it pink, looking pretty clean. So since we have 2 sticks of RAM, we wanna make sure that they're running in dual channel mode. And to do that, we need to put them in every other slot. So we're gonna pull back both of the levers for the 2nd slot and the 4th slot. Our RAM sticks only go in one way, so you wanna make sure the indent is lined up correctly. So we just put it into place, and then we're gonna push down with even pressure, both of our thumbs, and both of the levers are gonna clip back up. That's how you know it's good to go. Same thing for our 2nd stick, but on the 4th slot, push down, done. Now we're gonna move on to the installation of our storage. We went with a 1 terabyte M.2 SSD. This is the WD Black version. This thing's super speedy, so it's gonna boot up our Windows 10 operating system and our games very fast. So we're gonna be putting this little guy in here. We wanna first unscrew, get the lid off. Now remember the screw and the standoff we got out of our motherboard box? We're gonna use it now. So we have our 4 points here. We're gonna be screwing in our standoff into the 2nd point. And now we're gonna be putting in our drive, just hooking it up in there, and then we can push down on it. Now before we put our cover back in, make sure you remove the protective film. Storage installed. All right guys, so now we're ready to get our motherboard inside our case. Voila, look at this beauty. So this is Cooler Master's TD500. It comes in black and white. We picked up the white version and we spray painted the entire thing. So we fully took it apart, and then we added 2 different shades of pink, a satin and a gloss pink. So the dust filters were spray painted gloss pink, and then so were our screws and the little brackets right here. Now overall, I'm really proud of this paint job, and it really matches our little MU. All right, so back here, we're gonna find our screws. So when installing our motherboard, we want to make sure all the points of our board line up with all the standoffs inside our case. So these are already laid out in ATX format, which is what our board is here. This is an ATX board. So it's 3 on top, 3 in the middle, and then 3 on the bottom. So we don't need to move them around or anything. We're good to go. And our I/O shield is already installed on our board. We have ourselves a nice little board here too. A lot of USB ports, an optical audio port, Wi-Fi. We're good to go. So we're going to put it in at an angle, and I'm gonna line up the I/O shield first. Once that's in there, then I'm gonna place it down and have it line up with this standoff, the middle one. There it is, it fell right in. So let's look inside our little baggie. Here's our screws. We're gonna be using this screw, guys, for your reference. Okay, so we're gonna secure all 9 points. Now we're gonna be installing our CPU cooler. This is a Cooler Master AIO. Okay, let's unwrap everything. So before we could install our AIO, we have to first prep it. We're going to be installing our AM4 mounting onto our brick, and then we're going to be attaching the fans. So here we have our brick, or our circle in this case. We want to first remove the protective film. So we look at the front. This right here is what it's going to clip into. We want that facing down. We're going to first line it up, then we flip and secure it with the screw. Same thing for the top side, secured. So it should look like this, guys. The thumb screws are gonna be on the top. I'm putting this back on because we're just gonna dirty this up. Let's leave it on there. And we want to loosen them as much as we can. We did this because now we have more reach for this to clip into our motherboard. This is gonna make it a lot easier for us. So we can mount this now. First, we're gonna secure our radiator inside our case. We're gonna be installing it in here like this. So first, we have to remove the front panel. When you're removing this, don't be afraid. It needs a lot of force. Oh. So if you take a look, you can see that this case actually comes included with 3 RGB LED fans already pre-installed. So we're gonna be removing the first 2, and we're gonna be mounting them up here instead. So we're gonna disconnect them for now. All right, guys, time to put this guy in. That's gonna sit right there. And we have our 2 fans. So we're gonna be wiring the cables of the fan to the back side of the case through here. We then line it up with the 4 points, and we're gonna get the big screws that came with our radiator. So this big screw is gonna go through the fan and through the case, and we then need to screw in the fan to the 4 points of the radiator. Okay, that's in. Easy. Okay, we're just gonna have it latch on. We don't have to tighten it all the way just yet. Let's line up the other ones. So now we're gonna do the opposite side all the way through the case, and line it up with the radiator. Push it in and secure. Awesome, easy. Let's finish the other 2 for this one. I'm just gonna tighten them to just as soon as my screwdriver stops turning. There we go. And in goes our second fan. All right, that's secure. We're gonna get this attached now. So first, let's remove the protective film. Okay, so we're going to apply a pea-sized amount of thermal paste in the middle of our CPU. Cool. Let's see how these things are moving back and forth. Let's just secure it just a little bit, just so it won't then move back and forth like that. There you go, now it's stuck in place. Just enough so it won't move, because we want as much reach as possible. So we don't want that, like that, doesn't move. So we don't want it to make contact with the thermal paste yet. We're just gonna latch on the top, just like that. So I'm still holding it up, hasn't made contact with the thermal paste. I'm gonna now lower it gently and have this latch on. So I'm gonna lower it, but I'm still pulling up right here because I don't want it to touch the thermal paste. And I'm just gonna get it in there. There you go, perfect. So I'm still holding up, and now I'm gonna just let it go. There you go. And now it's just sitting there nicely on both sides. So to tighten it, we're gonna do one side little by little, evenly. So first a little bit on this one, a little bit on this one.
See, this one's already not screwing in. So I'm actually glad we encountered this issue, because now I can show you guys how to fix it if it comes up for you guys.
So all we need to do is pretty much get this thing to get lower. It's just not quite low enough. You know what? You can even totally remove this so you can actually see what's going on. All right, see, this thing is just getting stuck on that. Just need to move it. There we go. See how now it falls down like that? So that's what was not happening. Just had to go more down. Now that it's down, we can secure it. But hey, it happened to me now, so if it happens to you, you know how to fix it. Okay, so let's secure this one a little bit. Secure this one a little bit. And the other one. And we're just gonna keep turning till it then doesn't turn anymore. This one has stopped. Yep. There we go, good to go. So now we have these 2 cables right here. This one is for lighting, and this one is for the actual cooler. we're gonna hook this up into this input. It's the CPU OPT, the black one, all right? Now notice how there's one pin exposed, that's normal. And then the lightning cable will wire it to the back of the case. Now we're gonna be working with this cable, it's a fan splitter. This cable is gonna connect into the gray input, CPU fan. And yeah, that one does cover all 4 pins, and again, wire it to the back of the case. So here's our cables from both of our fans that are attached to our radiator. We're then going to connect the 2 fan cables to the splitter that we just plugged in to the motherboard. So in goes 1 and 2. All right, fans are connected. So now we're working with our RGB splitter cable. So it's gonna allow for all the RGB devices to hook up to then one input in our motherboard. So this is gonna be connecting to our first fan. Now notice how there's an arrow here and then an arrow here. We wanna line up both of the arrows when plugging this in. There's one fan, and if you're wondering what these little things are for, it's to then hold this into place. So it just sits in there nicely, and now this won't come undone. Now lining up both of the arrows again. So there's one arrow, the other arrow, secure. And our block, aka, the circle in the front that's on the CPU. Cool. Now we're gonna wire this to the front to connect to our board. So this is hooking up right here, guys. So notice how the pin on the bottom, it's labeled 12 volt. That's where our arrow has to connect. So the arrow needs to be on the bottom like that. I'm gonna plug it in. And it should look like that, guys. The arrow lined up with the 12 volt. Okay guys, so far so good. We're doing great. Now we're gonna be securing in the 2 fans that we removed to the top, and then we bought an additional fan, and that's gonna go right here. So let's go ahead and screw those in. So I'm gonna put these on the top of the case this way, not this way, because I want it to blow air out of the case. And for this fan, we're gonna be putting it in the position that it's gonna be blowing hot air out as well. And we're gonna wire it to the back as well. Let's put this back on. Okay, let's finish wiring the rest of our fans. So here's our 3 fans. One still right here, and then the 2 on the top. So the 2 splitters are only hooked up to one of the fan right now because we relocated the other ones. Let's go ahead and disconnect the splitters. So the first splitter is for the RGB light to the fan. All 3 fans will connect to it, and then this will connect to the motherboard. The second splitter was the fan cable. We're not going to be using this. This is a 3-way splitter. We're going to be replacing it with a 4-way fan splitter. Why? Because now the 3 fans that came included with the case will hook up to it, and then our 4th additional fan will also hook up to it. We're gonna hook up the fans to the splitter. So one right here, the 2 fans on top of our case. Now the 3rd fan that came with the case, we're gonna be hooking up a fan extension cable to it. So this is gonna give us more reach when we're working with our splitter wiring. So here are the 4 fans hooked up to our splitter. Now this is gonna hook up to our motherboard. We're going to be plugging it in to one of our system fan headers on our board. It should look like that. So all our fans are hooked up to our motherboard now. Now let's review. The 2 CPU cooler fans are hooked up to our CPU fan header, and then the remaining 4 fans are hooked up to the system fan header. So now the included with the case RGB splitter for the fans. So let's get the 2 fans on top of our case. Remember, when plugging them in, we gotta match them arrow to arrow. Second one, and then the one in the front of our case. So for the other end of the fan splitter, we have 2 options, depending if you're hooking it up to a 3-pin or a 4-pin RGB port. We're gonna be using a 3-pin, so that is the one that's labeled ASUS, and it's gonna hook up right here next to our RAM. Looking at our motherboard, the bottom first pin has a V by it. That's where we're gonna line up our arrow. Good to go. So guys, I know that when we see a lot of cables, sometimes we can find it a bit overwhelming, but that's why we just take it one cable at a time together, and then at the end we end up finding out that it was actually pretty easy. So we made it this far, good job guys. Now we're gonna move on to the installation of our power supply. So we went with an NZXT 750 watt gold rated power supply. So inside our purple bag, we have our cables and then our fully modular power supply. Fully modular means no cables are connected to it, which is good because we're only gonna hook up the cables we need, which is then less cable clutter inside our case. So we're gonna get out 1 CPU power cable, 1 PCI Express cable for our graphics card, the big 24-pin cable to power our motherboard, and then obviously to get our juice from the wall, first the 24-pin power cable. Right next to it goes our CPU power cable, the PSU labeled side. Our PCI cable to power graphics card goes right here, the PSU side. It could of course go right here too. And it's all labeled for us anyway, so no confusion here. And for future upgradability, you know, you just plug in another power cable for any other graphics card and whatnot. So for the aesthetics department, we want our build to look as fly as possible. So right now, these are gonna be on display in the front of the case, which are not the best look. Instead, we're gonna hook up power supply extension cables. They come in all different colors. We chose white here today. So originally, this would have hooked up to the motherboard, but now instead, we're gonna hook it up to our extension cables. And now this part's gonna hook up to the board. The next two cables are for our graphics card. And our graphics card uses one 8-pin, and for the second one, it's only gonna use the 6-pin. The CPU cable stays more hidden, so we're just gonna leave it like that. Okay guys, so we're gonna be putting it into here. We wanna make sure that the fan is facing down. Now we secure it with the screws. These came included with the power supply. And underneath here, guys, is our dust filter because it's sucking up air from the bottom out through here. So our power supply is ready to go now, guys. Time to connect cables. So 2 sets is what we're gonna be working with. The first set is the case cables. These are gonna connect the front ports of our case to the motherboard. Then our second group is our power supply cables, which are gonna power things. We're gonna connect our case cables first. It's a total of 3 cables. So our first cable is for our mic input and our headphone jack. And then the second one is for our USB 3.0 port. And this one is for our buttons, our power button and reset switch. The HC audio cable goes in one way, like this. Next one, USB 3.0 also only goes in one way. Line it up straight and we can plug it in. I wanna make sure we line it up straight because we don't wanna bend the pins. So now our last group of cables is also known as JFP1. This tool is located inside your motherboard. Everything is labeled for us. First, our HDD LED cable, lining up the positive and negative. Now if we flip it around, our power LED cable. So again, line up positive with positive and negative with negative. Should be looking like this. Make sure they clip in. Now for our power switch, we can hook it up either way. We don't need to line it up. Turning it around. The reset switch, also either way is fine. We're now gonna plug it into here. It should look like that with the cables on the left-hand side. Now moving up here, we're now hooking up our power supply cables. First, our CPU cable, we wanna clip it onto on the top part of this input. We line up the clips on top and push. And you should hear it clip in, and then it's good to go. Next is our 24-pin power cable. Our clip's gonna latch onto there, so we just line up and push. We're gonna push into our clip latches on. Done. So our final power cables are for our graphics card. We chose a GIGABYTE RTX 3070. This is the Vision version, which means it comes white right out of the box. We colored it all pink as well to match our theme. And painting this graphics card was fun. It's just always cool when you just take it apart, paint it, and then you put it back together, like the feeling of them putting it back together and just seeing it, it's like, yeet. All right, guys, behold our 3070, which has already been opened, but we'll pretend like it's the first time. Oh yeah, look at that, clean. Everything is pink except this. This is gonna light up. We're able to customize the colors. The ports this card is rocking is 2 HDMI ports and 2 display ports. Again, this is a new thing. Usually it's 3 display ports and 1 HDMI port. Now it's 2 updated HDMI ports. Let's put it in. So we're gonna remove our protector. We're gonna line up this part of the card with our first PCI slot. We're gonna first remove the second and third brackets to make room for our card. Now we're gonna pull the lever all the way back. Now let's line up our card. Once we have it into place, we just push it in. And then our lever will click back up. Now we're gonna re-secure it. Next, the power. So our 6-pin and 8-pin. Looking good, looking good. So now we're gonna throw in an RGB LED cable and we're gonna put it right here on the side. And this is magnetic. So this little RGB strip's gonna add a nice little splash of light within our case. We're gonna be hooking up the strip underneath our graphics card. So it's the 3-pin fan header labeled DLED1. And again, lining up the arrow with the V.
And it should look like this.
Now we can put in our final part, Funko Pop. Little Mew. Oh, almost dropped his little pink butt. There he is. Now I'm gonna put on the front tempered glass panel. Perfect. Oh, it looks crazy. Look at that effect. What? All right, cable management. Here we go. Honestly, we could just shut the case. It all fits. Just go, ugh. But let's try to clean it up a tad.
Yeah, man, I remember being so naive when life was good, weather and palm trees. Back in the day, you were everything I need. But then along came a time when you
All right, first boot up, guys. Plugged in. Let's turn off the lights.
that the line between love wasn't there.
Oh my God, it's broken. No, I'm just kidding. It's not broken. We have to switch the power supply on. There we go. Oh, I just heard the water inside of the AIO right now. Definitely a good call that we threw an RGB strip in there. So I'm able to just hook up another strip to the end of this one and it'll automatically turn on. But there's like not that much clearance right here for one. I'm gonna try to fit it in there anyway. All right guys, so our 3070 Mu build is complete. If you guys are following along, congratulations on finishing your build. Now, if you haven't turned on bell notifications for the channel, be sure to do so you can be alerted for the future builds that we're gonna be dropping. The upcoming build is gonna be an RTX 3060 build that's gonna have a limited edition siege case rocking a bandit figure. I can't wait till we start playing games on this thing. But before we do that, we have to first install our Windows operating system, our drivers, and then we'll be able to frag it up, play some Siege, Pavlov, everything. Let's do it.
Alright guys, so we're going to be installing Windows 10 from a USB flash drive. I made a video on how to create one of these. It's linked in the video description, or you can buy a flash drive with Windows 10 already onto it. Okay, so let's boot up our system. So Windows is not installed yet, so that's why I booted up to this. We're going to go ahead and turn off our PC, and let's turn it on again. But this time, we're going to keep pressing delete on our keyboard to boot up to our BIOS. Alright, cool, so we're in our BIOS. Once we're here, that's how you know you're ready to install Windows 10. But say you didn't boot up to here, well that's probably because the BIOS version that came with your motherboard is not compatible with an AMD 5000 series CPU until you update the BIOS to a newer version. And we obviously don't want that because we need to be able to boot up to our BIOS to then install Windows 10. Say that happened, I'm going to be explaining to you why and how we can easily fix it. So if we take a look at our BIOS version that came with our motherboard, it's version F30. So because we made it into our BIOS with our 5000 series CPU, that's how I know F30 is compatible with it. So here we are on our motherboard's website, and here's the BIOS version we have, and there's some notes by it. It says AMD Ryzen 5000 processor support. But say we go down a little bit here, so let's say the board you got came with the F1 BIOS and it's not compatible with your Ryzen 5000 series CPU. Well, first of all, no worries, because all you have to do is update it and you're good. And second, I doubt that's going to even happen to you. If you're buying new stock of motherboards, it's going to come with updated BIOS versions, so you're most likely going to get F30 or even newer and you're going to be fine. But anyways guys, say you bought any motherboard really and the BIOS version was not compatible with 5000 series CPUs yet, well, that's why I recommend that you would have at least gotten a motherboard that has this option. And the option I'm talking about is this right here. See how one of the USB ports says BIOS on it? So that's a feature our motherboard has, which lets us update the BIOS without even starting up our system and without even having a compatible CPU in there. Very simple, easy process, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it in case you need to. But like I said, I doubt that's going to be the case for you guys. So first, we're going to install Windows 10. Let's go ahead and turn off our system. I'm going to plug in our Windows 10 USB flash drive to the back. All right, it's plugged into one of our USB ports, and now we're going to turn on our system. All right, awesome. So it's going to boot up directly to the flash drive, and we're just going to click next, install now. I don't have a product key. We're going to be installing Windows 10 Pro next. All right guys, so any drives that you have hooked up to the PC are going to pop up here, and then you're going to select which one you want to install Windows to. We only installed the M.2 SSD, just one drive, so our only option is that one. Select it, next. So now it's installing Windows 10 from our USB flash drive onto our M.2 SSD. Once this is done, our system's then going to restart. So our system has now restarted for a second time. That's totally normal. So once we get to this point where it's asking us to pick our region, this point means all the files have been copied over, so we're good. You can disconnect your flash drive now. Set up for personal use, and we're gonna go with Mu. Whatever you want, select guys, really. I would just wait for it to boot up to our desktop. Okay guys, so we're in our desktop now. First, all right, that's more my style. So let's head over to Chrome. This is our motherboard's website. We're going to be downloading our drivers from here. I'll link it in the video description. So let's download our audio driver, download. Next is our chipset driver. We're going to go to AMD chipset, download. Next, our LAN driver, Intel LAN driver, download. Now we're going to go down to WLAN, and right here we're going to find our Bluetooth driver, download, and our Wi-Fi driver, download. And let's scroll all the way down to BIOS. We're going to scroll back up. Here's our latest version, F33H. So we're going to download that one. Let's scroll back down to utility, and we're going to find our RGB Fusion program. We're going to download that. That's what's going to allow us to change our colors of our motherboard. I'm going to get these on our desktop in the order we downloaded them. So before we can install our drivers, guys, we have to unzip these files. So right click, extract all, extract, and here it is. And we're going to do the same thing for the other ones. All right, cool. So we don't need the zip files anymore. Delete. So let's do our first one, our audio driver. Double click. We're gonna double click this. Yes. So this thing's gonna pop up. It's installing. Once this disappears, that means the driver's installed. All right, that's done. Next is our AMD chipset driver. Yes, so we're just gonna be patient, let it do its thing. Once it's done installing the chipset driver, the system's gonna reboot automatically. All right, next one is our LAN driver. Yes, there it is. All right, it disappeared. Moving on to the next one, that's gonna be our Bluetooth driver. Yes. All right, and after that, our Wi-Fi driver. Okay, so we finished installing all our drivers, so we can delete those now.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to update the BIOS in 2 different ways. So the first way is for people that don't necessarily have to update their BIOS, but still want it updated to the latest version. Now the second way is if you were booting up your system for the first time and you couldn't even get into the BIOS to install Windows. So for that, it's gonna be a little different, but I will be covering both ways, all right? So the first way, I'm gonna be installing an older version for the first way, and then for the second way, I'm gonna be installing the newest version. All right, so let's extract that. Okay, cool. So we have our 2 versions. So we're gonna hook up an empty USB flash drive to our PC. And if we go to this PC, we're gonna see our flash drive. Right click it and press properties. You wanna make sure that the file system is FAT32. If it's not, we can just right click it, select format, and then format it to FAT32 start. But ours is already ready to go. Okay, so let's open it up. And now let's open up our BIOS folder, and we're gonna drag in the .f32 file, the BIOS version that we wanna install, into our flash drive. It's good to go. Now we're gonna restart our system. And when it's restarting, we're gonna keep pressing delete on our keyboard to boot up to our BIOS. All right, cool. Now we're gonna head over to QFlash, and we're gonna click update BIOS. Right now we have version F30. So boom, and we're gonna select F32. It's gonna automatically pop up from our flash drive. Next, are you sure? Yes. Gonna start the process. Press to start. Cool. Okay, so now we just wait till it's done. You want to make sure your system doesn't lose power, because if it does lose power during this process, then it'll corrupt the BIOS and you'll have to fix it, and that's annoying. Now we just have to wait till it's complete and the system's gonna restart. And now we've arrived back at our desktop. The BIOS has been successfully updated. Okay, so now the second way. So let's go ahead and delete this version, which is the one we just updated to. Now we're gonna update to F33H. Okay, so again, we want an empty USB flash drive. And same thing, we want to make sure that it's FAT32. We're gonna open it up, and now we're gonna open up our BIOS folder, and we're gonna drag all the files into the flash drive. Now we're going to rename our actual BIOS file to gigabyte.bin. Yes, and now it's a bin file. So now our flash drive's ready. Now obviously, if you have to update the BIOS with option number 2, you would have to prep the flash drive on a different system. Yeah, this PC wouldn't be up and running yet. So now we need to remove the lid and actually take out the CPU, because if you're gonna update the BIOS this way, the CPU can't even be inside the motherboard. I'm gonna shut off the system, and our flash drive has to be in the white USB port that's labeled BIOS. And since I'm gonna be removing the CPU, I obviously don't want the system to have power. Before I remove the CPU, I want to make sure the system's lost all the power. So I'm going to click the power button, and that's just going to make sure that all the power is gone. I don't want to smear this paste anywhere, so I'm going to have this thing chill right there. Let's get our CPU out, and I'm going to get thermal paste on my fingers, grabbing it out. So I'm gonna have to clean the paste off of the CPU and our pump and reapply new thermal paste. But now let's turn back on the power. Flash drive is prepped and it's in the appropriate USB port. Okay guys, so now right underneath our graphics card, we'll see the white Q flash button right there, and we're just gonna press it down. Okay guys, so now it's gonna start flashing, and that means the process has started. BIOS is being updated. Once it's done flashing and the system turns off, then that's when you know it's done being updated. But yeah guys, now we just wait patiently. It's gonna take a few minutes. All right, it stopped flashing and the system has powered itself off, so it's done. Success. All right guys, so if you're doing the second method, to be on the safe side, don't do as I did, remove the AIO block completely outside of the case, because sometimes it could fall and smear thermal paste on your motherboard and you don't want that. Just a heads up. All right guys, so I wiped off the thermal paste, reapplied new thermal paste, and everything's back to normal. Now I'm going to turn on our system and keep pressing delete to boot up to our BIOS. BIOS has been reset. Please reconfirm your BIOS setup items if needed. Okay. All right, guys. So now we're going to make sure our RAM runs at its rated speed. So let's go over to advanced mode. And we're going to go to extreme memory profile. And we're going to click disabled. And we're going to switch that to profile 1. All right. And as you can see, it already changed it now to 3600 megahertz. Previously, if we look down here, it was only running at 2100 megahertz. That's not what we want. We want all our performance that we paid for. All right. Save and exit. Save and exit setup. Yes. Okay, so we don't need this now. We already updated our BIOS. Boom. Okay, so we're almost done. Now let's install our graphics card drivers. We're gonna head over to the GeForce Experience and download it. Let's open it up. Wait for it to pop up. Yes. Agree and install. So we're gonna head over to drivers and download the newest driver all the way up here. Download. Express installation. Yes. Okay, so our screen's gonna flash. That's normal. There we go, it's done. We're gonna restart our system later. So anyways, GeForce Experience, it's always gonna keep you up to date with the graphics card drivers, and also you can use the GeForce Experience to record your gameplay. Now moving on to the lighting program. So we're gonna be installing CORSAIR IQ. This is gonna let us change the lights of our RAM sticks. So we'll install it. And now remember RGB Fusion to customize the rest of the lights. We're gonna be installing this now. So let's double click that, open it up, setup. Yes, install. Yes. All right, so we're installing IQ and RGB Fusion at the same time. Finish. All right, that's RGB Fusion. Now IQ next. So we'll get rid of the RGB Fusion folder. And here we have RGB Fusion and IQ. It's almost done installing. Now let's customize our lights. So we're gonna open up RGB Fusion and IQ. We'll do RGB Fusion first. So I'm gonna select static, and that just means it's just gonna stay on one color. It's not gonna flash or do any crazy effects. And we will select white. So as you can see, it changed our RGB strips to white, and it also changed the light on our graphics card to white. Now, if we wanted to change it to blue, there you go, same thing. Our RGB strips are nice and blue, and so is our graphics card. Now to control the lighting of our RAM, let's bring up IQ, select our RAM sticks, and let's change it to static, and we can select our color. So if we want to make it red, there's red. And now we're going to be installing a game. So I'm going to be using Steam as the example. Install Steam. Yes. All right, guys, we're in Steam. Let's install our game. So select any game, install. Next, agree. Boom. All right, guys, so our game's downloading now. We're done. We did it. Yay. Look at our new build. It looks sexy. All right, guys, before we frag it up, just want to tell you guys, thanks for all the love and support you've shown the channel over the past few days. It really means a lot. Thank you. You guys are the best. Wait, the video's not over. I was about to do the piece. All right, let's play. Moving on to Apex, guys. We're playing with Nvidia Reflex on enabled plus boost. Our FOV is at 100, and here's the rest of our settings. Yo, dream team, baby. Let's go. I got 2 of them down. Nice job, guys. Drinks on me tonight. Our Fortnite settings. We're running the game at these settings right here. And Nvidia Reflex is on plus boost, and DLSS is on balanced.
Oh, someone's landing on us.
2 people, man. Got the Loki.
Okay, I'm gonna heal up and come back.
I downed one.
Just drop down.
Boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, Don't do it. No, don't do it.
I killed him with a pistol, bro.
Let's go.
Watch out, on top of you. I see him. He's down. Oh! I have killed by one guy right in front of me. Oh my.
Look up. Hold it.
Right.
Yeah.
You're crazy. All right, he's down. One more. Get the other one. Watch out.
Oh!
Drive. Yo, we're in the end game. We got this. Oh, they're up here.
Wait, there's only 2 people left. It's just these two. This is it.
Downed one.
Oh, good job. Last one's like in here. Oh, no.
Shot him for 76. Nice! Good job. You won one, man.
Let's go.
Moving on to our VR title, Pavlov VR. We're gonna be running this game at maxed out settings. So everything is set to ultra and our scaling is at 100%. The settings we're using for our Valve Index, we have it set to 144 Hertz and resolution per eye at 100%. All right, look, I'll be honest, I'm an innocent, so like this round is kind of boring for me because like where's the fun in being an innocent? Am I right? Am I right? Pizza? Am I right?
Yes.
All right, see, Pizza agrees, am I right?
No.
Ah, got you. You thought. What up, monkey man?
What's going to do, Joey? I love your acting. You make everybody think you're an innocent. Like, that's a really good quality to have in life.
You're a kind person, you know that?
I do. That's why I come on the game. I come on just to like be nice.
Oh, so like you're trying to get some good karma or what?
No, just like.
Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. Just be honest. Whoa,
Listen,
whoa,
buddy.
whoa.
When I say I'm nice, I'm nice. Do you hear me?
All right. I'm down.
Or we're gonna have problems, buddy.
You proved your point.
Okay,
Right.
okay. Joey.
What?
But I gotta say, Joey, I'm sorry. You didn't give me the money like I wanted it, Joey.
Yo, no. Yo, am I talking on the radio? How do you talk on the radio?
Yeah, you go to your shoulder like this. Put your thing on the shoulder.
Like this?
Back?
There you go.
Yo.
There you go, Joey.
You You. Yo, look at this gun. Come on, man. Ooh.
Come on, let's switch.
Hell no, man. I never used this gun in my life. Look how sexy.
Yo, do you even know how to reload it?
No. Oh, this is the second time this dude kills me, man. Look, man.
Joey, I'm sorry.
Look,
I had
man.
to take the gun.
Nah, man. Nah, that's 2 rounds in a row that you kill me, man.
You could do it to me. I'll allow you.
Look,
I'll allow you to.
Look, I'm not gonna do it. Why would I do that? You think I'm like some degenerate?
Are you calling me a degenerate?
You didn't see anything. Whoa, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh my God, he's crazy, man. All right, man, listen up. I'm gonna try here, all right? Just put your guns down and we'll spare you. Hey, you, second floor dude, come down, man. Let me just tickle you real quick with my bullets. I see you, bro. I can smell you, man. Ah! Who's next? Who's next? Ah! That's right, baby. That's how you do it.
Alright guys, moving on to Rainbow Six Siege. Settings we're rocking the game at. Nvidia Reflex is on plus boost. Here's the rest of our settings. And for DLSS, that's on quality. We played our 10 placement matches of North Star and we placed the lowest silver. We won 3, lost 7. Journey to Gold Part 2. Here we go. Got a little twitchity twitch.
Down to 5 seconds.
Yo, dog, yo, pig, make up your mind, boy. Dude, that's a hybrid.
I heard hybrids get a lot of miles per gallon. My Civic's not even a hybrid, and that shit gets.
Oh my lord!
Let's surrender.
Hell yeah, bro. That's a good strat.
Jump out the window, Come on, go! Do it! Now do it, Do it now, Do it, come on, he's planting! Do it, come on, epic play.
Op 4, last stop standing.
I got her.
Kill me, I'm here! Come on, do it!
Twitch and waiting room. Twitch is waiting. Good guys, we just won. Moving on up, guys.
Successful.
Alright, so over two more wins and we're gold. Go, baby.
Plenty. That's
Good job, boys.
We came from what it was like a Persian. We've been staying in our lane, ain't no merging. Rapping like a turban. Yeah, these all smell like Irvin.
Alright, we're silver 1 now, guys. One more win and we'll reach gold.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. Woo! We made it. Got gold, guys. We grinded it out. Yeah! Moving on to Warzone, guys. We're going to be running the game at these settings right here. Nvidia Reflex is on enabled plus boost. If we go all the way down, Nvidia DLSS, that's going to be disabled. I like DLSS, but for COD, it makes the game look fuzzy for me. I don't like it.
People used to front, now you see them showing up. So what's up? I've been down and out with love. Keep it a buck, I don't always been one for all of these. They be trying to front for all of these kids. They opinions and we won't stop till we all touch $1 million. Don't ever forgive them. We probably forgive them. No! Taking a call that was getting my decisions already written. Back to a ribbon. Putting ourselves in positions to make some major decisions.
Whoa! Alright guys, time for some Valorant. We're going to be playing the game at these settings right here. And Nvidia Reflex low latency, that's on plus boost. Bro, I don't know if he's diffusing or not. Like, does it make a noise when they're diffusing?
Yeah, it goes like this. It goes.
Yeah, you'll be with.
Got it. That was like very accurate. I got it. Behind me, man.
Last player standing.
Alright guys, come back. Oh sh! Yeah, boy!
You're the last one. Complete the mission.
Down A. One enemy remaining. Spike planted. Clutch. One enemy remaining.
Phoenix behind you, man. Phoenix, he teleported right behind you.
I know, bro. Thanks for killing him, bro. Thank you.
Sudden death.
I hear a lot of A. Oh my goodness, man. Oh my!
One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
I love you. Please.
Oh!
Wait.
Oh!
Defenders win.
Yo! Woo! We almost lost that. That was so close. Oh! Woo! Let's go! That was so much fun. That's a wrap. Thanks for watching till the end, guys. I appreciate all you guys' love and support. This baby's a beast. I had fun playing the games. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.